Hello, I'm Teresa Hansen, Vice President of Global Content for Clarion Energy. Welcome to this week's edition of Clarion Energy News. Here are the stories. Story number 3. Microsoft is pledging to become 100% carbon negative by 2030. This is according to a recent report from the Associated Press. The company said this is not a commitment just for Microsoft, but also includes the companies across its supply chain. The latest commitment from Microsoft is a major step from its previous green pledges. The tech company had previously said its data centers would be 60% powered by renewable electricity by the end of 2019 and 70% renewables by 2023. It now says it will hit 100% renewables for all its data centers and buildings by 2025. Rivals Google and Apple have already said they reached the 100% milestone, and Amazon said it would run on 100% renewable energy by 2030. Story number 2. In the Pacific Northwest, legislators and judges are working to create laws and policies limiting carbon emissions that adhere to both law and satisfy both Republicans and Democrats. Just last week, the Washington Supreme Court reinstated a limited version of Governor Jay Inslee's plan to cap carbon pollution in the state. In a 5-4 ruling, the court said the Clean Air Rule cannot apply to companies that sell or distribute petroleum or natural gas because those companies don't actually make the emissions. The people who burn the fuel delivered by these companies are the actual emitters. The court ruled that the Department of Ecology has the authority to regulate only the actual emitters. Also last week, Oregon legislators held the first public hearing to find a compromise on a climate change bill that led to GOP senators walking out of the Capitol last year. Known as Legislative Concept 19, the new bill would force big greenhouse gas emitters to obtain credits for each ton of gas they emit and create an overall cap for emissions. The cap would lower over time. Story number 1. In another story with a carbon reduction theme, recent data released by FERC for the first 11 months of 2019 reveals that renewable energy sources are in first place in the race for new generating capacity. FERC's latest monthly energy infrastructure update shows that renewables make up slightly more than 22% of the nation's total available installed generating capacity. This further expands their lead over coal capacity, which has dropped to just under 21%. Among renewables, wind is the largest installed generating capacity at about 8.5% of the U.S. total. It's followed by hydropower, which makes up just under 8.5%. Solar, biomass, and geothermal make up the rest of the renewable energy capacity. It's important to note that capacity is not the same thing as actual generation. For the first 10 months of 2019, the U.S. Energy Information Association reports that renewables generated almost 18.2% of the total electricity generated in the U.S. That's about 3% less than its actual capacity. Before I sign off, I want to remind you that Distributech International is next week. The annual event, which covers all things grid and customer related, will occur on January 28th through the 30th in San Antonio, Texas. You can find all the details about this event at distributech.com. You still have time to make your travel plans and register. I hope to see you there. Also, PowerGen International has just opened its call for abstracts. If you work in the electricity generation industry and have experiences and knowledge you want to share with your peers, PowerGen is a great place to do that. So submit your abstract right away. The deadline for submissions is February 24th. You can find the details about the call for abstracts on our website at power-gen.com. And finally, I want to let you know that registration is now open for HydroVision International 2020, which will happen July 14th through the 16th at the Minneapolis Convention Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Visit hydroevent.com and click on the Register Now button. You'll see a menu of available registration options and prices. That's it for this week's Clarion Energy News. I'm Teresa Hansen. Thanks for watching.